Hello there, Dylan here. You might be wondering why I have letters here. Except you probably read the title and you know exactly what this is all about. We're gonna be ranking every single character, um, based on how fun they would be as race courses. And you see, I went all out with this topic, even though I don't have to. I went ahead and did so many symbols that not a single person is realistically gonna do this. I might save Greek for another part, actually, so we're not gonna do Greek in this one. We might do Greek as part of part 2 if you want to see that. But I don't think anyone's ever gonna see this video ever, so this is completely pointless. But how am I gonna be ranking characters as racetracks? Well, I would probably say that the fun is gonna be the most important factor. If there's a bunch of straightaways, or if you're just going in the same general direction all the time, you're probably not gonna have a good racetrack. Okay, that happened, but yeah, so we're gonna be starting off with the letter A, and yeah, there's not that many letters that have more than 2 variants, so I'm gonna keep it. So yeah, A is gonna be our very first letter our very first character we're gonna be talking about, and it already has 3 variants. So yeah, the capital A. Look at that. We have straightaway here, a long straightaway here, and a long straightaway here, and some really weird turns. Also, realistically, you could also add some. You could also realistically add some sort of shortcut here. You could add some sort of road there as well, but we're gonna assume that you're not doing that for simplicity's sake because I already designed it as it is right now, as you see here. Honestly though, these 2 straightaways are gonna be our main fun factor, but another thing too is this part in the middle. How would you even incorporate that into the track? How would you even incorporate this little centerpiece here? And that's gonna be an issue with a lot of letters that are a lot of characters that have these weird places in between them. You could realistically incorporate them into some sort of you could realistically create a road that leads there, but A is gonna be confused. But I feel like with A, if you connect these if you connect the bottom parts of this to this part right here, it's gonna be confused with a Greek letter later on. We're not covering Greek letters this part, but I will point that out. When researching Greek letters, at least, I found that out. So the capital variant is gonna get an A tier. But honestly, yeah, it's not S tier because of the straightaways being here. Now the lowercase version, there's 2 lowercase versions. This is usually how I write lowercase a's right here, but this is also valid too. Oh my god, stop. So yeah, this variant here, I'm gonna say that this variant here is gonna go into There's a straightaway here, but because it's lowercase, but because there's a lot more variety in the, because the corners here are pretty sharp. I know I didn't. The corners here are pretty sharp, and I guess I could also say that for capital A if you don't include the line connecting. If you don't make this a tipped point, it could. If this is a tip point, it could also be a sharp, but we're not guaranteed to get that. But here, if you're using this variant, you are able to guarantee it. However, I still have to rank an A tier. Here, we have a bit more variety. It's not completely symmetrical, which is an indication of a good track design, I think, but at the same time, who would want to race on this variant of lowercase a? Honestly, I might put that into S tier though. I don't know. B. There's a long straightaway and couple long turns, and plus we also have the issue of these two inner parts. That's an issue with a lot of these holes again, and but there is a very sharp turn here. I'm defining sharp as like somewhere greater than 45 degrees. If your turn is like, okay, yeah. If your turn is, so yeah, this, oh, Schwartz. It's like right here, this is not a sharp turn. This is a sharp turn. And this is a really sharp turn. Yeah, that's what we're judging sharp turns now. Honestly, B tier. I'm gonna say that B goes into B tier. I don't know. Lowercase b is gonna have to go into. I'm gonna say lowercase b. I'm gonna say lowercase b is less symmetrical than lowercase a, at least this variant of it right here, but it's, I don't know, still worse in my opinion, so I'm gonna say it's gonna be B tier. This long straightaway could also be a problem if it was scaled up way high. Uppercase C, I'm gonna say that this is just D tier. The only interesting part is when you have to do the short straightaways, but then we get lowercase c, which actually is probably going to be more annoying than anything, but I don't know, I'm still putting it in. I'm going to put the lowercase version also in on the same place as uppercase. Now we got D. We got a long straightaway followed by a turn that is 90 degrees, and that's the 90 degrees turns are the only interesting part about it, so I'm going to say this is going to belong in F tier. I don't know, mate. I mean, if it's scaled up properly, you won't even need a turn. For the lowercase d, I'm putting it in the same place as lowercase b because it's literally the same character but mirrored. And so E. You have a lot of 90-degree turns, but you also have a long straightaway, so I'm going to say B tier. Lowercase e is kind of interesting, except for the fact that it looks eerily similar to variant 2 of lowercase a. So, yeah, it's just rotated 180 degrees and adjusted very slightly to make people think it's not a lowercase a, but upside down. But yeah, I'm gonna rank it into A tier though. F. This is just a less interesting E, so I'm gonna put it into, I don't know, C tier. Lowercase f though is kind of an interesting case because normally this would be a long straightaway, but you also got it cut off by this weird part here, which makes the straightaway not as long, but at the same time, it's kind of a. There's also this weird turn here that would probably make it. Would probably bump it up to like C tier, I guess. I don't know. maybe B tier, I don't know. Alright, so G, we have two variants, except it's not lowercase, it's uppercase. So the uppercase G, if we're taking this variant into account, honestly, it's probably one of the better courses. Except not really, because it's just C, but with extra steps. But this version here, probably going to go into B tier. This version here goes into C tier, because it's got a less interesting dynamic going on. Lowercase version is just, what is that? Just another P, but with some curves. I'm gonna say that's probably still B tier. H is basically just a bunch of 90-degree turns, but in a different format. I'm gonna say this is a C tier track. There's a bunch of straightaways here, and yeah, I don't know. This just feels like something you would see in Super Mario Kart, actually. Lowercase variant, I don't know. This is just C tier, I guess. I don't know. I is literally just H, but rotated a little bit. But, I'm gonna say it's gonna go to C tier as well. Lowercase I. How are you gonna implement this? I know, incorporate the dot as a gliding mechanic or something. Use the gliding mechanic, and that's how you'll make I, the lowercase I, interesting. I'm gonna say if you do that, I'm gonna say it's C tier, but if you don't, it's D tier, because you either get a circle or a rectangle. J, it's more interesting than I guess, but still it's a C tier. J, same thing as I. If you incorporate glider, I'm gonna say a C tier, but if you don't, I mean, you do have a more interesting layout, but I'm still gonna, I'm gonna put in a C tier, I guess. K is an interesting character to make a course because, yeah, look at it. That's this weird shape, and I think I'm gonna have to put this one in B tier, and same thing with this. This is just a slightly altered version. I'm gonna say B tier as well, above. I'm not, actually no, I changed my mind, not above. So I'm gonna have to say, L. This is just, this is one of the least interesting characters to talk about, so I say this is gonna be this might actually be our first F tier. Oh, and we get an even less interesting track with literally just a vertical line. Unless you want to go this route. Technically you could, but I don't know. F tier still. M. Now that is an interesting course design, but let's say B tier. Lowercase m. That is how you design a track, mate. This is an interesting design, so I'm gonna say S tier. And I'm gonna say C tier, and lowercase n is just a worse lowercase m, so A tier, I guess, I don't know. Or it would not work as a race course. It could work as a battle track because, I mean, the games have already proved that it could. But as a race track, I don't know, mate. I'm gonna put that into F tier. And the lowercase one comes around, and we're putting that in lower, then we're gonna put that in F tier. But this time it's lowercase. P is a letter in the alphabet, and I don't know. I want to say C. No, I don't know. Maybe D tier. P, lowercase p, is literally just B again. No differences. Oh my god, mate. How are you going to differentiate three choruses that are literally the same but in different rotations? Q. Uppercase Q is a bit more distinct than R, but I'm gonna still have to get a D tier. Q. Oh my gosh, we got another B again. At least this one has another variant which is a bit more distinct, so we're gonna give that new variant B tier. R. Oh gosh. This R is gonna go into I'm gonna say probably C tier. I'm gonna put it above capital P because it's got more diversity, but still not. I'm not sure. The lowercase r is gonna go into A tier, below lowercase n, but still serviceable. Capital S, I'm gonna say B tier. Lowercase s is two variants, and this first one is gonna get A tier, this one's gonna get S tier. Right here. T is an interesting case because you got some straightaways, and then you also get this top part here, which gives it an edge and puts into D tier. This weird one that looks like a cross is in a bit put into D tier as well. This weird one right here might be enough to put it into C tier, but low C tier. U is a D tier course. I feel like all you can do is drift around this bottom part at least, and these top parts are just sharp corners. Lowercase u is just upside down n, so we're ranking the same tier as n, and uppercase u gets C tier, I guess, I don't know. V has a couple straightaways, D tier. Lowercase v is just a shorter capital V, so C tier. W is, I'm gonna say C tier because it's a bit more interesting, but lowercase is still above it in C tier. X is gonna be, I'm gonna say D tier. X isn't really that good a letter, and I am not sorry about that. Lowercase x is gonna be a D tier as well. You're just doing the same things over and over and over again, and lowercase x is just a worse version of it. So Y technically has 3 versions, but they're both. But I'm gonna say the second lowercase variant is gonna go into B tier. First one goes into C tier. This one goes into D tier. I don't know. Z. I'm gonna say this one goes into. Wait, this is just sideways N. I'm gonna say I don't know, C tier. I don't know. This first one also gets C tier, but straightaways are not as defensive here, so it's going above. This one though might be in A tier, but then again it's similar to S, so I don't know. Now let's talk about numbers. Alright, so 1, we have this design. I do realize that this point and this point could be connected. We could just cut off this bottom line and make it worse track overall, and also confuse it with 7 later on, which I do have 2 variants for. But yeah, for 1, we're gonna say this is a C tier. For number 2, I'm gonna say that's probably a C tier as well. It's probably better than 1, but I'm not sure. 3. I'm gonna say that 3 is B tier. I'm not sure about that, but it does have some qualities of good track design here. 4, on the other hand, is D tier, and you cannot convince me otherwise. 5, you do have an interesting part of the top, but like, I don't know, this curvy part of the end does not help it out, so I'm gonna say probably C tier at best. 6. So 6 is gonna go into I'm gonna say C tier, I guess. 7. This variant here has too much straightaways, so I'm gonna say D tier, but this version here might actually be a C tier or even a B tier, but honestly I don't know. This 8 has a couple sharp corners, but that's about it. These weird inside parts give it an issue, but I'm gonna say B tier? I don't know. And number 9, we have number 9 has a straightaway. It's different from 6, but probably to its detriment because now it's gonna go into D tier. It's got some turns, but that's about all it has for it. And 0. Oh my goodness, this literally looks like a baby course. This literally looks like Baby Park. But just zero-ified, I guess. I don't know. This is gonna go into F tier because we know Baby Park sucks. So yeah, we have 2 exclamation marks, one right side up and one upside down. This is just a case of lowercase size, so we're just gonna put in D tier. Question mark is a bit more interesting because you get a more unique shape, but the fact that there are 2 of them kind of hinders it, so I'm gonna say at best B tier, but at worst C tier. The percent sign, I'm gonna say probably A tier, but that's about as high as I can rank it. The dollar sign and cent sign are both going into B tier for being better than their original version. Alright, so the other money symbols, this one's gonna be a C tier in racing. This one's gonna be a D tier. Wait, no, maybe it's a C tier as well. Euros are gonna be I have no idea where to rank. I'm gonna say probably, I don't know, B tier because it's better than C. This weird W symbol has a lot more going on, so I'm gonna say A tier, honestly. Yen. I'm gonna say B tier, better than the original Y. The pound symbol is kind of an interesting character to talk about, because how do we even... Because, I don't know, I'm gonna say that if we were to, like, just have the inside part, yeah, this could probably work as a battle track, but that's about it. Not a racetrack, I don't know, but if we just take an outline, it might be a C tier course, I don't know. Ampersand, that might be a B tier course. Actually, no, I think I'm gonna say this is an A tier course. Or maybe an S tier. This might be our next S tier course. There's some chaos and then there's some quiet moments. There's some chaotic parts, there are some nice moments in this course. There's not too much going on, but there's also not too little going on. Just the right course we need. Period, or full stop as some real English speakers call it. I don't know, F tier. Comma's gonna go into D tier because at least it's got something better than just a circle. Colon and semicolon, I'm gonna give them both D tier. Mostly because you can implement gliding, and then we get... Oh, hell no. Oh, these are going into D tier. These two symbols at the end are going into F tier. Alright, so now we got these 2 slashes, both of which are gonna go into F tier. You can't really convince me that these sharp corners are interesting because that's literally the only interesting thing they have. This equilateral line is literally just Excitebike. The only thing that made Excitebike remotely good was its randomness. But that isn't enough to get people to like it, apparently. So, this line is an F tier. So are these 2 dashes. One of them is a hyphen and one of them is an M dash. We got 3 Lincoln and ellipsis, and that's going in F tier. No arguments about it. The only thing that would make it interesting is the gliding. The plus sign is just a bunch of right corners. This is literally just not a course. I'm gonna say D tier, and the time symbol is just rotated 45 degrees. Whoop-de frickin' do. I'm gonna say D tier as well. Divided by sign, I'm gonna say this has the potential for a D tier, but other than that, yeah, if you just have only one part of it, it's an F tier. No debating it. The @ symbol is gonna be a B tier. I mean, yeah, that's a pretty good course. I might actually put it at A tier. It's a pretty good course design, I guess. A vertex. This vertex would probably be a D tier course. The asterisk is, this character here, the asterisk, would probably be good as a B tier course at best, but at the same time, I feel like these sharp corners would get annoying fast. The equal sign and the approximately equals to sign would both get C tier. I'm gonna say approximately equals to is higher because it's more interesting in my opinion. It would be more interesting as a course. That's about it. Not equals to is gonna be a B tier. The two parentheses, I'm gonna say C tier, I guess. I don't know. Not much I can say. I'm gonna actually put on a D tier. Yeah, curves, but that's about it. Tilda's gonna go in an F tier because actually I changed my mind. D tier, it's more interesting. These weird brackets are gonna be in I'm gonna go in D tier. These curly brackets, I mean D tier as well, but they're the best of the best for brackets. This weird symbol is gonna be an F tier. Like, where else are you gonna rank it? The section symbol. This one right here is gonna go into I'm gonna say A tier, but again, that might be a controversial take. Then again, a lot of my takes here are probably gonna be controversial, so yeah. The two computer brackets are gonna be in, well, mathematicians call this the greater than and less than signs, so we're gonna go with that. But these are just vertexes, just rotated 90 degrees, either to the left or the right, depending on which one you're looking at. But yeah, these both are going in the same tier as the vertex. This, the degree symbol is an F tier design. No questions asked. Now we're back to these symbols. We get this weird B with a line in it. I'm gonna say this is gonna go into B tier. This one right here is gonna go into I'm gonna say S tier, but yeah. This one has an interesting design. I'm gonna say S tier. Plus or minus, let's say C tier. I don't know. This is literally just a circle, so F tier. Alright, so we got the number sign. This one's gonna go into C tier, I guess. This is a C tier thing, I guess. I don't know. I guess I could be convinced to put it into B tier, but that's about it. We got another F tier course to end us off on. Well, that's unfortunate. But yeah, that's part 1. Part 2 will cover Greek letters if you want that. I mean, I do have time for more, but I mean, I do actually have time to go over the Greek letters, but I don't know. I don't know how interesting of a video idea this is, so we're just gonna leave the Greek letters for part 2. So, with that being said, bye.